Hey, what's going on, guys? DJ300 back again. The last video I showed what was in my bag, what I basically take with me. I'm gonna show you guys today how I set up my DJing equipment, how I get ready for the night. I'm gonna give you guys an overview of how to set things up. If you guys are first-time DJs and you guys are trying to figure out how to set stuff up, or even if you're a veteran and you're one of those who, oh wow, I never thought about putting this there, whatever the case may be. It's just basically how I do it, and then yeah, I'll probably do couple scratches or something, but let's go ahead and get started. So my normal setups for my gigs are always one turntable, my mixer, and that's pretty much it. And either the turntable will be on the right hand side or the left hand side. It just depends on how I'm feeling that night, and also how my phase is charged up. So since we already have one turntable set up, we're gonna go ahead and set up the mixer and then the other turntable, and we'll get things going. So what I like to do is I like to start off by setting up the mixer. That way I can have all these plugged in. The reason why is if I'm at a bar or I'm at a club, usually when you lay this down, it's kind of flush to the back of the booth. So you're not going to have access to it. And if you have to, try to make adjustments, it's kind of hard. Yeah, if you pull it out just a little bit and then make your adjustments. But the other thing too is I can't see anything. I would have to, now this is my camera doing this, so I'm not able to do this, So we'll start off by setting up the phase. So here I like to separate the wires and everything before I do everything. And you just line them up basically. So the right side is with the right side, the left side is with the left side. As you can tell, I have this first cord right here. That's the right side. This cord right here is going to be the left side. And because it's the remotes, you have to line it up with the CD line right here on both sides. So don't put it in the phono, otherwise it really won't pick them up. I remember when I first tried setting up phase, I think in one of my earlier videos you could see where I said I'm trying to set them up, and if I'm, they have to go through CD in line because it's technically acting like a CDJ. So that's the way it's picking up the remotes. Like I said, right side with right side, it goes red down, white on top. We'll do the left side, red down, white on top, and that's setting up the phase remotes. Next, this wire goes to my computer, so I'll take this part and I put this in port A. As you can tell, port A is a little beat up because I've used this one so much, and it's my, I guess, favorite port. I don't know. That's what I've always plugged into, so port A. Next wire I plug into is my power source, so I'll plug that in. And I won't plug this in right away, just because I want to make sure everything is in, sound, all that good stuff. And the reason why too is I also got to make sure on my mixer that the volumes are down, or if not on the master mixer that the volumes are down, because if I plug in, you're either going to hear that loud pop or that nasty ugly static. So to avoid all that, I don't plug in the power right away. And also got to make sure your power button's off too. I know you can't see it from here, but you got to make sure the power button's off, just because again, you don't want that to happen or blow out a speaker or something. And then here goes the sound. Red and the white. And that's just going into some speakers that I have, some computer speakers set up. And then now's where we lay this entire thing down. And the reason why you want to lay it down is because I had left it up a couple weeks ago and it ended up falling. Thank God nothing tore, nothing broke, nothing messed up, but it fell. And I was just kind of like, oh man, what? I freaked out. I panicked. Now the next thing I set up are my turntables. So this is the ground, this is for your phono outs, and this is for your power right here. I've never used the phono outs on any turntables I've ever used, nor do I use the ground. So usually the ground is like a little wire. It goes from here all the way to the back of the mixer. It'll go right here. If you can see these two over to right here, it'll go to this. You just ground them, and that way it doesn't sound as staticky. But since we're not using the needles or anything like that anymore, I've never really hooked up, nor have I ever really needed to hook up the grounds to anything. So like I said, we'll go ahead and plug in the power. The other one on the other side over there is already plugged in. Like I said, that's the one I usually leave here, and because I'm always taking just one. So Now I know you guys see the surge protector here on the wall, and that's where these come in handy. I don't know if you remember from my last video where I talked about what was in my bag. I always have 2 of these. One's just a backup just in case, or if the wires aren't long enough, they can't reach, you can always use both of them. So let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in. We're only gonna need one. So now that we've got this set up, we've got everything plugged in. The way I'll usually check to make sure power's working is I turn on the turntables just to make sure, okay, they're working. Now we got both of them going. So let's set up everything else. And then also the way I have my wires set up, I usually will put the 2 turntables, the mixer, all here at the top. And then I'll use these 3 for either a phone charger or for my laptop charger. So now I'll go ahead and put my slip mats on. This is just, again, from an old cover from one of my vinyl records. As you can see here, I just ended up cutting it out. Yeah, so I'll take the plastic cut. Yes, I have 2 slip mats, but that's so that way I can feel like at least I'm moving, you know? Because I've had my thicker slip mats, I've had just 1 slip mat, and it just doesn't feel as movable as it is. In fact, let me show you what I mean by. You see how it's spinning and how the slip mat stays there? Yes, the slip mat's moving, but that's just so smooth for me. I love that. So again, same thing on this side, plastic, butter rug slip mat, phase slip mat, and then my record. These are not custom records. This is just a regular clear record. I put a piece of tape here on the back. You can see it. Hear that? My nail hitting it. So that's really all I did. And I did this for a competition. I was doing a competition and I was like, well, I want to be able to see what I'm doing, see where my marker's at, because I've done competitions where I'm not tracking where I'm at. You know, I'll try to use the Serato sticker or I'll try to use the Serato label to pretty much gauge where I'm at. But I just found this so much more awesome to do was adding the electrical tape right there. So now on this side, what I'm gonna do is I've always put my laptop just on here. It's a pretty stable surface. I would set up my laptop stand, but there's really nowhere for me to put it. So for me, I just use this. And I mean, I could put the laptop stand over this, but you know, it's just less of a hassle. The other thing too is I feel like the GoPro holder would end up hitting the back and hitting all the wiring. So just to avoid all that, just to kind of save time, I'll just toss the laptop on this. So from here, I'll go ahead and open up Serato. Now what I'm opening up is, if y'all remember, my wife's bag to get my adapter. And as you can see, we have some songs on here. Let me turn up the brightness. Yeah, we have some songs on here, but we don't have as many as I do in my external storage. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. And because everything still runs on USB, that's why I really have this. So the connection to the S9 is on here. The connection to the phase is on here. Opening up the external. So plug that in. Take this. Now usually it takes a few seconds for the external to load. Here in a second, you'll see everything just kind of open up. See, I'm picking it up already. And there you go. So the computer ended up picking up everything from the external hard drive, and now it's on here. And this is pretty much how I've set up everything. Let's turn on the mixer. And you can see the computer's already picked it up. So the next thing I'll do is I'll take my phase. This is the B. Put it on the magnet. Let it pick it up. I'll take A. Put it on the magnet. Let it pick it up. So you can tell it's already picked it up. And that's how you know. The other thing I forgot to mention, big time, especially when you're using phase, is if you're going to be using the phase, I'll usually go, because I'm only using one at a time, I'll either go internal or relative. And so relative will have it, you know, it's picked it up. So as you see, because I have it on internal and not relative, nothing's happening. So it's best always have that on relative, so that way you're able to control the music. See? So once again, that's just pretty much how I set up all my stuff. If you liked it, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know that you love and support, you know, what I'm doing and everything. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.